Hey everybody, it's Quicksilver here, back with another World of Warships video. Today we are going over the Karl Johan, and let me count the Roman numerals, carry the 1, Karl Johan the 14th. And we've got a quick game on here. On North, I had a pretty good time this game after playing an embarrassingly large amount of games in this boat to try to get a good one because, to be honest, this boat is bad. Straight up, this boat is bad. Now, because I'm saying it's bad doesn't mean it's unusable. You can use it, and you can find success with it, as I have in this game here. It's just really hard to. For starters, health pool of 72,900 is pretty good, pretty impressive. Definitely healthy at this tier, especially when you factor in the armor. It's got a 32 millimeter bow, I think a 30 millimeter stern, and stronger plating elsewhere, which makes it pretty tanky, as it's supposed to be a brawler. But I personally wouldn't recommend building into the secondaries. The secondary reload is bad. The secondary dispersion is bad. The range is okay. So you can start secondary range, but it's going to be at the cost of your main battery reload and dispersion, which good luck finding any success relying on these horrid secondaries. The main battery reload on the build that I have, this is all build based, and I will share the build at the end of this video. The reload I have is 17.6 seconds on the main batteries. They're 305 millimeter guns. They are very good in the reload department, and that's it. Their dispersion is terrible. It's horrible. The dispersion of, and I've built into them a little bit, not a ton, but a little bit, and it's awful. Almost unusable as far as the main batteries, but they are, like, I'm just going to use HE the whole time, try to set fires, try to use the torps to cause floods on top of those fires, and that's how you're really going to get these massive games in this boat. Otherwise, I don't see any other path to massive games. The torpedo reload is 86 seconds. They go 10 kilometers. The torpedo speed is 86 knots, which is pretty good. They're your typical Pan-Euro torpedoes, which I love. I adore the Pan-Euro destroyer line. And here we've got an Ohio making a super, super wide trip around the circumference of the Earth on North, which usually doesn't work out. As you can see there, we did just eat broadside from an Ohio, and we're relatively okay. Now back to the ship's stats. It's got a 95 rating for AA, which is pretty good. Nothing to really complain about there. If you get harassed by carriers, they'll learn to kind of just leave you be and find a new target. If not, you're going to get a clear sky pretty easily. Nothing really to complain about there. As far as movement, the rudder shift is 16.5 seconds, which is not great. It can feel a bit sluggish, and the top speed is 30 knots. Although, again, this is all influenced by my build, which for the Johan, I have aiming systems for the dispersion because it feels almost necessary. I've got propulsion mod, but I might consider steering gears. Even though I try to stay away from steering gears just because I love abusing propulsion mod, but this one might need the steering gears for the increase of just rudder shift. I've also got the concealment mod and the main battery reload in the 4th slot. I have it at Epic, just to try to improve that as much as possible. And here we actually get we get to display the AP on the Ohio. This first shot is kind of what it feels like to use the AP with average aiming. Pretty good dispersion. I'm pretty sure all 6 shells hit. However, 5 of them shatter. 1 of them overpens for very little damage. That second salvo was a little bit better, but here I decided to go for the bow I really just try to get any sort of pen. So I use the AP. I lead it a little bit more, just to try to get some in there. And we actually end up getting a Citadel, which shocked me when I was playing it. That was the first Citadel I had gotten on a like pretty heavily armored BP at that range in this boat. So that was pretty interesting to see that it's possible. This guy doesn't seem to care that I'm shooting at him, and I think he's going for our carrier instead, or our destroyer, or something over there he's just distracted by. Back to the Johan. I gotta say, guys, it's not good. Like, you can have success in it, don't get me wrong, but it's just not very good. The main battery, they reload quickly but are otherwise less than average. I'd rather just play A gear for 305 gameplay, or Pommern even. I prefer, just because it's a little more accurate. You're not going to use the secondaries on this boat. You're not going to use the secondaries on the Pommern. The torpedoes here are better as far as like zoning and range, so that's pretty cool. That's honestly, for me, the redeeming factor is the ability to use the torpedoes. I don't even use them that much in this game here, but they are pretty fun. But again, the secondary battery is pretty useless. Bad dispersion, bad reload. But HE is going to be mostly your bread and butter here. The AP doesn't really pen much unless you're aiming really well. And the HE is manageable. It's okay. I think you get like quarter pen, and I think the fire setting is 28%. So it's not the worst thing in the world. And sorry, the reload on this is not 17.6 seconds for me. It's 18.6 seconds. The firing range is 17.6 kilometers. I had messed that up earlier this video. I apologize. And here I try to use the force and predict where the Minotaur is going. I think he's going to move that way. I was super wrong. He's actually moving backwards. I was thinking that shot probably could have killed him. He actually starts beating me up pretty good. And again, I keep thinking he's going to move back towards the island cover, since I am actually hitting him with some of my blind fire shots. So I dump some torpedoes in there just in case he doesn't move. And I angle out so I don't die, because as you guys know, if you've played L tier, Minotaur AP will kill you no matter what your armor is. It is absolutely destructive. But as you can see, I'm getting a little bit excited. He's not moving. It looks like those two torpedoes are going to hit, and they do. He goes down. Pay attention, guys. If you're sitting in the smoke, it is a torpedo magnet, no matter what you're in. Just pop a sonar, or just try not to stay in your smoke for that much time. And here we start kind of helping our team, who is now punched through B, which is wonderful. They're getting angles on Johan. If he turns to angle towards them, then he'd be broadside to me. We've got amazing crossfires here. There's really not much he can do. I switch to HE, get some pens there, and then this Brisbane is kind of hanging on for dear life on the corner of that island on sea. So overall, this game is looking like we're probably going to win. We've got Torps headed downrange at the Karl Johan in case he survives, which he doesn't. And I don't get the kill with my fire, which is sad. But here we decide to start. We said, screw it, let's just blitz this Brisbane, get this game over with, see what we can do here, and see if we can get a good enough finish here to make a little video on it. I just wanted to let everyone know what this boat was like, see some gameplay with it. Even though I don't love this boat, I still absolutely think doing the campaign is worth it. Even having the boat is worth it. Just due to Bureau projects, you don't know what's going to come. And I take a shot here. I think it's actually a pretty mediocre shot. Yeah, he bounced 4 of my shells in a campaign battleship, but my first set of torpedoes missed, even though I tried to get them as close to the rock as I could before he popped out, because he would have been a little nice surprise. And then, again, just these main battery guns are super unimpressive. We did get a fire with the secondaries, but as you can tell, they aren't hitting much. I have only 19 hits, and this guy has been within 5 kilometers of me for almost a minute. And we're gonna ram him. We're almost done with this game. We want those big damage numbers, so we're gonna ram him. And then skip to the end. We ended up winning on points. Overall, 3,000 XP game, 183,000 damage. Can't complain. You can do well in this boat. Here's the build. I'd use Colorado and Fisher for that reload decrease, along with their small other bonuses like range. But again, I'm just not that big of a fan of this boat. If you guys like this boat, please comment. Tell me why. Make sure you leave a thumbs up and you share this to your friends. And thanks for watching. Y'all have a great one.